Avoidantly attached people, because of your inborn temperament and your life experiences, there's like a 50-50 chance that you're extremely sensitive to criticism. Like compared to the general population, you're much more likely to interpret everything through the filter of, I'm being diminished and meaningfully considered inadequate. I call this the ostrich avoidance. You don't want to do emotions or conflict because it all just means you're bad, right? There's also a 50-50 chance that when you encounter emotion or conflict, all roads lead to you perceiving attack. It's possible that you experience all vulnerable connection as being invaded and smothered. Like that's how it feels potentially, even if that's not happening. I call this the loner. Gotta be fiercely independent or you're gonna be obliterated. So if you're an ostrich, your nervous system is screaming, I'm being criticized all the time. So you either bury your head or defend yourself and worship adequacy and achievement. And if you're a loner, your nervous system is registering, I'm being attacked. So you might want to escape or attack back and worship fierce independence. I'm just here to say there's nothing defective about you for this. These are predictable defense mechanisms for keeping ourselves safe, but also seeing everything automatically through the lens of expected criticism or attack seems like it's helpful in the moment, but it can really hold you back in relationships and even career and life in general. I've seen divorces because of this, but I've also seen people be passed over for promotions and even lose jobs because of this. And it's just in general a really hard way to live. So the first step is just noticing it. That's why I'm doing this video. You likely live in your body, not your words or emotions. So notice your tightness in your shoulders and chest, the heat that comes up in your body. Then ask yourself, is it possible this isn't a criticism or an attack? Is it possible I can loosen my shoulders and make eye contact and steady my voice and stay here with this instead of defending or withdrawing? Is it possible? And no matter what your nervous system is telling you right now, this isn't more criticism. It's actually sad that you didn't get attunement in childhood to have your nervous system reconditioned to expect safety instead of criticism or attack. And it's not your fault you're here. But there's no rescue ship coming. I do talk a lot about your partner being aware of what's going on with you and making it safe, but ultimately you're the only one who can train yourself out of this. Awareness is where to start, and you got this. And if you're the parent of one of these kids, see what their sensitivity is, whether they mask it or go reactive, and give them what they need, attunement. I'll never forget a while back, I had a teenager in therapy who had his driving permit. Basically, he was learning how to drive and he needed a parent in the car with him. So he drove to his therapy appointment with his dad in his passenger seat. He was one of the passive, holding it all in, dissociating golden boys, and his parents were working really hard to condition emotional safety in him. So at the end of the appointment, this kid got frantic because he couldn't find his keys. He was freaked out because he thought he was going to be late, make his dad late, imperfection, and he had the inadequacy trigger, expecting criticism. And the dad just saw his face. The kid went freeze and scared, not reactive. So the dad had to be really keyed in to notice it. And he put his hand on his shoulder and didn't reassure his son or tell him to calm down. That would make his son's nervous system feel that there was something really wrong with him because he wasn't calm. He just said, I know you don't want to be late. I'm going to help you find your keys. You guys, this could have gone so many other ways. The dad could have been triggered into panic himself, or worse, diminish the kid for being irresponsible when the kid was already so tightly wound. Or another thing I see is the more socially sophisticated hero dad will have figured out a way to be present but still emotionally avoidant, so he'll make everything a joke. And jokes are good, but not in moments where the kid is upset. That's misattunement. But he simply reflected and labeled, basically, I see what's going on with you, son. And he touched him and he said, I'm here with you, basically. That nervous system training was so much more valuable to this boy's development than any discussion about making sure your keys are always in your pocket. And I'm sure once the son was out of freeze mode, the dad could have talked to him about a system with his keys and even shared what worked for him without any shame or judgment. But the frantic moment in the office, that was a secure attachment training opportunity. Those are the little moments that all add up.